For the majority of the British youth over the preceding decades, rock and pop were pretty much the only forms of music they took to in number. Sure, you could dress it up and mess it about, but an older sibling could always say, you know what that sounds like? A bit like... And that's disappointing. But suddenly, in the 90s, as Viv Stanshall once said, there were new horizons in sound. By the early 90s, dance music was pretty much inescapable in Britain. From warehouses to fields, forever somewhere off the M1. Right into the charts, where 1 in 3 of the top 10 hits in the UK was a dance record. It was only a matter of time before the solid rockers got in on the act. The Shamen, a sometime indie group from Aberdeen, diligently put in the necessary personal research.
This can be psychological dynamite.
And lo, they reached the highest position in the charts with Ebenezer Good. Historians still argue over what the song actually meant.
Very naughty.
Primal Scream, who had been channeling the MC5, went to their first rave, dropped E and met DJ Wiz Andy Weatherall. His remixes gave them a hit album, Screamadelica, and a hit single, Loaded, which this time channeled Peter Fonda's voice from the 1960s film Wild Angels.
We want to be free to do what we want to do.
As the decade progressed, the government legislated to restrict rave culture and clubbing moved indoors.
Back with another one of those block rockin' beats.
Glastonbury and Tea in the Park gave ravers fresh air again when they opened festival dance tents in 1995. Dance acts were happy to share the stage with rock bands and show how repetitive beats could move a festival crowd. The following year, 2.6 million people tried to buy tickets to see Oasis at Nebworth. Also sharing the bill were The Prodigy, Dreadzone and the Chemical Brothers, proving rave culture had well and truly infiltrated part of the rock mainstream. Let's not ignore the 300-pound gorilla in the corner of the room, as they say. I've never taken E, so I felt excluded from the plain ecstasy that the people there did. I could hear the music, this is great, but I was plainly not completely absorbed in it.
On one, as they used to say back in the day.
What did it do? What did it enhance there? Was it absolutely necessary?
I don't think it's ever absolutely necessary. It certainly changed. You know, you don't want to say this because it sounds dodgy, but I mean, it certainly... I went to a rave. The first time I went to a rave was in glamorous Margate. On Margate Pier, it was called Seduction in 1991, I think it was, and I took ecstasy for the first time at this rave. And that experience totally changed my life.
Why?
Because I hadn't really been interested in dance music before. I mean, you know, I'll be completely honest with you, I went because I wanted to take ecstasy, and I completely got the sort of sense of a communal experience. I completely got what the music was about. It was hardcore. It was that kind of era of Charlie by The Prodigy and Sweet Harmony by Liquid and all those sort of records. And it completely changed my perspective on music.
And did it work outside of the E? If you played it in the car next day, did you just think, I don't know what I was thinking?
No. Well, yeah, absolutely. But I mean, no, I think it completely works. It works as pop music. I mean, that's the thing, is that, you know, those records went really high in the charts. You know, loads of those records were massive hit singles. They weren't just being bought by people on ecstasy all the time, you know. Dance music is you know, to my mind, is the most important thing that happened in the 90s, full stop, in terms of pop culture.